Hi, Professor. This is Shivashankar and my friend Agnes. We are doing the project on moving target defense approaches in cybersecurity. Coming to the introduction of this project, moving target defenses is a collection of different technologies which are used to improve the security, and it is used to increase the availability of an application by the diversity of software and some network cards. So usually MTD technologies, which means moving target defenses, technologies can increase software diversity by dynamically changing the software when it is used in different layers of the system when the application is running continuously. Due to this, the attacker gets a random and continuous change in the view of the underlying system, which makes the attacker difficult to successful exploits or to make an attack. Coming to the benefits of the moving target defenses, moving target defenses makes defender more difficult target. It reduces the need for threat detection and enables the scalable security. Mostly, it levels the playing field between the attackers and the defenders. The main mission is to bring some of the techniques which enhances the effectiveness of the system across certain period and the size. Threats of the moving target defenses are some of the most popular threat actors which are used for infiltrate software products is operating system vulnerability. Mostly we'll use Android in this. Technologies for automobiles is not exempt to certain limit. Recently, Cisco Security Researchers has found a memory corruption flaw in GNU Lab for ARMV version 7. It is commonly used in the smart cars as an autonomous app, which allows the attacker to execute the arbitrary code remotely and take control over the entire vehicle. Let's discuss about the mechanism of moving target defenses. Fixing and successive updates are not appropriate for CPS frameworks because the necessity of the predictable and safe functioning. Due to this, it is kept without any update for years. As a result, the CPS system usually have an out-of-date code and security mechanism, which allows the user to attack easily. CPS assurance should be worked to endure attack endeavors for significant stretches of time with intercession. At last, a CPS plan should be strong with the pre-assumption, assuming an adventure is made that routes and safeguards the instruments. This framework will work in any case. Coming to the overview, understanding the different domains of moving target defense approaches starts with an examination of various parts of the computer. For example, let's consider a computer system, which might be a desktop or a laptop machine or a different phone or a tablet. It generally comprises of numerous layers of software and hardware components. For simplicity, in the way of design and implementation, there will be different layers. These layers are typically called a software stack. Functioning of each of these layers depends upon the previous layers. About the cyber kill chain, really cyber kill chain is a series of steps that traces the different stages of a cyber attack from early reconnaissance stages to the exfiltration of data. This cyber kill chain helps us to understand and combat ransomware, malicious software, and some security breaches and advanced persistent attacks. There are 5 essential steps in the cybersecurity kill chain process. The first one is reconnaissance. The first step of any APT attack is to select the target. Usually, some of the utilizing scanning tools like Nmap and Zenmap will be used. The attacker first gathers the relevant information about the target. He creates a system architectural design, which includes the hostname, IP address mappings, and up-to-date network diagram and the relevant code and other event logs. This is the first step. Coming to the second step, it is giving access. The attacker attempts to connect or communicate with the target by using some of the sophisticated techniques like determining the properties such as version numbers, vulnerabilities, and combinations of encryptions and decryptions, among other things, by using a host profound scanning tools and some security vulnerabilities. Coming to the third step, it is exploit development. This is the stage of weaponization. After discovering the system vulnerability, now attacker creates an exploit for something in order to get a footprint or to increase his privileges in order to launch a major attack. let's consider for example, he may utilize some of the tools like exploit code to create attack scripts and some ransomware or malicious software, certain sort of assaults. Uh, Now the remaining part will be explained by my friend Ablash. Thank you.
Hi, Professor. Now I will be continuing the topic. Like after the three steps, then the fourth step will be the attack launch and execution, where the attacker sends the exploit to the recipient computer, which has the uh, malware and attack script to the recipient computer. After knowing the setup and also the and this setup of the recipient computer, the attacker sends malware so that uh, it can execute in a recipient computer. This can be done in many ways. It can be done via a network connection or by USB pen drive or with phishing, with many other tools. And the other step is the fifth step will be persistence. This is like typically an optional step where attacker adds more backdoors to the script so that he can get uh, more information from the attacker's recipient computer. By repeating this step, you may be able to launch a more effective attack in the future, uh, which can accommodate memory leaks, data information leakage, and also lateral gestures. And the next one will be uh, pros pros of moving target defenses. The pros will be the main important advantage of moving target defense is like it can protect against denial of service attacks, and also you can increase the security and redundancy. Uh, this helps in reducing the attack surface dramatically, and the target assaults are a good fit for this, like scanning, probing, and backdoors, creating extra time and space for attacking effecting. Like this can be also used in recovering activities, deters in detects in any infection of condition. And the cons will be the major drawback will be the operational denial of service in a single point of failure, and problems with cross platform design. This also requires high performing CPU and also more system resources. And price of this is a bit high. And now this is the picture of attack defense comparison, where you can see the moving target defense and also the IDS IPS firewall in the graph. The blue one indicates the MTD, and the orange one indicates the IDS IPS firewall. And when it comes to design types, like any ideal MTD architecture for a given system, it must have the underlying infrastructure to be safe, which is to help any system not to get attacked by any malware. This is like really possible if the defender develops, analyzes, evaluates, and deploys appropriate techniques and processes to make use of the established infrastructures. Like defending in depth security is often performed by a layered strategy, and in which defenders use various sorts of security at various types of OSI model. And the summary, like my friend discussed earlier, there are 5 stages of this, like where the reconnaissance phase, attackers gathers the information about the system setup of a recipient, and then after getting enough data and setups apps about the software present on the target system, then he will design an attack which is capable of attacking the recipient computer. Then then the attacker creates an exploit for a vulnerability inside the target system during the third step, and then he will launch the malware or the software, which could involve sending a malicious network packet towards the target. And also uh, the fifth and optional step persistent, where he will keep on sending the malware so that you can get more information in future. And future directions, like upcoming MT research will go in variety of ways, where researchers should consider whether the additional complexity caused by randomness or diversity of the system parts is truly exposed to a prospective attack while developing new approaches. Like many techniques add complexities to the subsystem, but attackers can manipulate the data leaks or attacks which are irrespective of the component's internal parts to avoid as well as bypass the complexity. No, so this is about our project. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Professor.